On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about Starspawn by Blood Incantation. I don't know why I turned into Starscream from the 80s Transformers cartoons.
It's Starscream and Emperor Palpatine at the same time, kind of.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Medalist podcast. I'm Starscream.
And I'm lost, I guess.
Megatron.
Megatron. I'm Megatron.
I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal and we like to talk about it. Today, it's still December.
Yeah.
So we're still doing Death Metal December.
Right.
We're talking about a 2016 album by Blood Incantation, a fantastic sort of spacey, trippy. They go by the moniker Cosmic Death Metal band.
Right. They talk about a Stargate in this album a lot.
Yeah. And hey, I like Stargate.
I do too.
So
I prefer the movie. The show is a little corny.
Yeah, you also didn't make it past season one.
I didn't.
Show.
I did. Does it get better after season one?
I don't think it's ever not corny, but it becomes corny in more tolerable ways.
Okay.
I think it is
they worked out the bugs.
My best memory of Stargate past season one is that like it remains campy and corny, but it is in different and better ways.
Okay.
For the most part. But then again, I also haven't watched a ton of SG-1 lately. But in any case, yeah, it's a cosmic death metal band. They talk a lot about aliens and ancient astronauts and all kinds of crazy
astral projection.
Shit. Yeah, it's all of that sort of stuff, which I think is great for a trippy psychedelic death metal album. I think it's good fodder for that. That area of music. I'm recovering still from.
Are you?
From Christmas. From a week long, and I've still got leftovers.
Really? Your mom sent it home with you? Or?
My mom sent a ton of food home with me.
Wow.
A lot of it rather sweet. It had a chocolate pie. There's cookies. And
a bag of sugar.
Yeah, just a bag of sugar. And
got you this for Christmas.
Here you go. It's a pound of sugar.
It's from my sweetie.
That's what my mom sounds like, apparently.
Yeah, that is what your mom sounds like. No, that sounds nothing like your mom. I've never heard your mom.
You haven't met
no
my
idea.
mom.
But I can only imagine that there's no person that sounds like. No, there's nobody that sounds like this. This would be very hard to listen to.
It would be.
If someone who spoke like this all the time.
If your speaking voice was a white man's falsetto.
Yeah, that would be irritating.
Somebody sounded like Mickey Mouse all the time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I'm just sort of recovering from all that. I had an adventure on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've heard about this. I might as well retell this story. So like last Thursday was frustrating. Day before Christmas Eve. It was a frustrating afternoon at work. I was getting, I had a bunch of stuff to do to prepare for the long weekend.
Sure.
And I was interrupted several times to do pieces of prod that
production.
Pieces of production, making ads for you non-radio people. And I wouldn't have had to do them if I was better at my job and had done them beforehand and accurately read the copy orders and noticed that they needed to be done by that day. I wouldn't have caused myself such frustration.
Right.
But that happened, and so I was quite a ways behind by the end of the day, and I resolved to do whatever I needed to do the next morning. Whatever I had left over by 5 p.m., I was going to do it on Friday morning, which would be fine. But the last thing that I did was Friday for our classic rock station.
Right.
And when I logged into our remote our remote software, go to my PC, I found that I had not indeed done Friday on our classic rock station. I had done Monday on our classic rock station, thinking it was Friday. So that was frustrating.
Sure.
And then I kept going. I finished what I needed to finish. I got on the road, and I had eaten. I'd put some breakfast in me, and I got on the road in my mouth, and it went down into my stomach.
Okay.
Some of that breakfast was eggs, which is important because when I hit about Walmart on the way out of town, I thought, hey, you had eggs. Mm-hmm. You turned the burner on. Did you turn the burner off? Did you do that, though? Mm-hmm. Well, of course I did. Why would I leave it on? You turn it off when you're done with the eggs.
You do. That's your first reflex.
Yeah, but you're stupid. It's well established that you're stupid and you forget things sometimes. There have been...
So you're not just saying me personally as an individual.
No, I'm talking. This is my brain talking to me.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm portraying different parts of my psyche having an argument.
So you heard in your brain,
drive out
idiot,
of town.
Did you turn off the stove?
Precisely. And I could not ignore that little voice in my head. So I turned around and went back, wasted about 10 minutes. Only to find that I had indeed turned the burner off, because of course I did. Then I continued down the road to my parents' house.
Yep.
And I hit the intersection of North Dakota Highway 23, or I guess it'd be U.S. Highway 23.
Right, where a lot of deaths happen, by the way.
Yes.
A lot of deaths happen at the intersection.
It's a big intersection. A lot of very large vehicles going through that intersection to the oil field.
Sure, and plus there's a casino down there, so there's some often very drunk people.
That is true as well.
Yeah.
And at that intersection, there were two North Dakota Highway patrolmen blocking the highway heading south.
Right.
Why? I decided not to stick around and discover, because I noticed they weren't letting anybody through. And everybody that was in front of me was turning off onto Highway 23 going
west,
right to go west, or going turning left to go east. I decided to go west, which was the wrong choice, because when you go west on Highway 23, there's not a lot of paved options to get you to use as a detour.
Sure. Did you turn and go to partial, or what did you?
I turned to go towards Ryder.
Ryder. Oh, okay.
And that's where the nearest paved highway to take me south and then back east would have been. I decided while I was on that road that maybe I should look for a quicker option, perhaps a gravel road that could take me south. I found one that did take me south towards Douglas, which this gravel road was fine. But while I was on that, I said, all right, Google, now get me to Washburn, North Dakota. And I decided to trust it. Mistake number one. I went past a road that Google wanted me to take. I looked down and it was like, it's a narrow gravel road. There's a lot of snow there. I know better than that.
Sure.
I'm a North Dakotan, god damn it. I know how to drive in the winter. I know the limits of my little vehicle. I won't trust you, Google. Well, that used up all of my good judgment for the trip, because the next time Google was like, hey, there's this little fucking gravel road I want you to take. It's this entirely unnecessary detour going around the cemetery outside of Douglas, and just 1,000 feet that way is Highway 53, which is a paved road that's perfectly fine for you to take.
Right.
But there's this other road that kind of goes at an angle. It kind of goes at an angle, so it's technically quicker. So you should take this one. Okay, Google, I'll do that, I guess. And I did that.
Yeah.
And at first it was okay. And then it got worse. And then it got worse.
Ooh.
And then the snow got kind of deep. And it was that kind of snow, and where you have the thought in your head, if I don't keep up some momentum, I will get stuck and I will never get out. No one will ever see me again, and I will die here. Well, I stopped moving. those other dark thoughts that went through my head were not true because, as I mentioned, Highway 53 was about 400 feet the other way.
Right.
And I had about another 900 feet to go down this stupid little fucking road
Sure.
that I decided to go down.
Uh-huh.
So I get stuck. And I'm running through the checklist of things in my head. Like, okay, what do we do? What do we do? All right, get traction. Get your floor mats out. Put them under your tires. See if you can get up on top of this crusty snow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's strong enough. Maybe I won't bust through this shit.
I've never found the floor mat thing to work.
No, it never works. I've never gotten it to work either.
Right.
I had no kitty litter in my car, so that wasn't an option.
Uh-huh.
All the kitty litter goes where it's supposed to go when I get it, which is in the cat box to be shit on.
Right.
But so that did not work. I was like, is it at all possible for me to push this thing? Absolutely not. So I sat there. I leaned up against my car for a moment. I was like, all right, I got about 4 other things that I need to try before I have a mental breakdown.
Did you rock
just
it?
Start crying. I do not have the physical strength.
No, I mean, throw it in drive, throw it in reverse, throw it in drive.
Yes,
reverse,
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I was saying, did you pick up the car and rock it to sleep?
Yeah.
No, you. I know.
I thought you meant like push, try and push it repeatedly.
No, I mean like go forward and then quickly back up.
Yes, indeed, I did try that.
Yeah.
I have a front wheel drive vehicle though.
Yeah.
So it's
As do I.
It's getting stuck with a front wheel drive vehicle is a bit of a problem when you get into the snowbank while going at speed.
Yeah.
Because the tires that need to get you out of that are the ones that are in the snowbank.
Right.
Which is difficult. But thankfully there was this highway right next to me and it was Christmas Eve. So a lot of people were using it. And I saw this vehicle go by, this big black GMC. I look over and I clearly see a face that is looking right at me. I wave, the GMC slows down and turns off to this stupid little road that goes around the cemetery and starts making tracks in my direction.
Because that was the logical way to go. Is that stupid little road around the
stupid little road around the cemetery. Of course. That's the only logical way to go. So this gigantic pickup truck very easily makes it through stuff that would have gotten me stuck many times over.
Right.
And this big, tall Native American guy steps out. He's there with his mom. He's about my age, maybe a little bit younger.
Sure.
But he's like 6'3" or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know if I would really appreciate some help, man. He's like, all right, well, we'll see what we can do. I was like, do you have a tow strap? He's like, let me check my toolkit or my toolbox. First, I'm going to get as close as I can to your car to make tracks through the snow. And so he gets as close as he can with the front of his pickup truck to my car.
Hopefully he didn't
make snacks.
Push it with his truck.
No, he did not. Well, that was like, he was like, I do have like a pusher, like a, big thing that he could put on his grill essentially.
Right.
So if I don't have a tow strap, I can
kind of fuck up the back of your car.
I can go around and push you out.
Sure.
If all else fails. But he had a tow strap. And so he hooked that up and dragged me out. And it was incredibly nice of him. And I'm grateful and glad that in the good thing about living in North Dakota is there's a lot of kind, nice people who drive really, really, really big vehicles that can handle that sort of thing.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me this week.
Yeah, you've been having some car trouble again.
Right, yeah.
Thankfully not, destructive car trouble, but...
Right, well, because this new car, this Volkswagen I got, it's low to the ground. It's a low rider.
Yes.
So after we had that big snow, I got out to the intersection there between the radio station and the pet store.
Yes.
And it was just
We've gotten a fuckload of snow.
A fuckload, yes.
Since Christmas.
I think that's what the meteorologist said specifically.
Yeah, that's what Amber Wheeler said. She said fuckload.
Fuckload. And
on both on television and in her weathers that she does for us in the morning. She said fuckload.
So I got into this and I got stuck right there. I'm in the snow. I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere. And a dude in a big pickup is going down 31st. He looks and sees me, and then he actually pulls into our parking lot, pulls back, comes around and gets behind me.
Yeah.
He said, I'm going to push you out. I said, cool, thanks. And so I get to revving the tires and going forward, and then I'm stuck. I'm not going anywhere. I yell, I'm going to back up a little bit, and then I backed up a little bit, and then I said, let's do this again. And then this time I got out.
Nice.
I was very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I also had a dead battery.
Yeah, that's happened as well, but you've gotten a new battery since.
I've gotten a new battery, and apparently in this model of German car, it's a huge thing that they have to hook you up to computer,
software,
reset
all kinds of other shit.
Software, and you know what? And I tried to look it up to see if he was bullshitting me, if what he was doing was necessary.
Yeah,
and it looked like in one place I saw on the internet it said
it wasn't.
Yeah, that you just need a crescent wrench and unscrew and then put the new battery in, then strap it in and screw the things back on, just like you would do with any other battery. Who did you talk to first that specifically said like, oh, you got to go to a certified person? Well, at first I went over to the Walmart and I looked at, you have to go through the rigmarole with the LCD machine there. Mm-hmm. And then I got to it and
see if you can find a battery for your make and model.
Right. And then it gave me this whole long speech on the screen that didn't even fit the screen. It says, okay, here's the deal. I mean, there are 3 different sizes you might need for your car.
You bought an Apple car.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Your new battery has to have lightning pin.
It's like having a John Deere.
Right.
You got to take it to a certified John Deere technician or you void the fucking warranty or however the fuck that works.
Right.
But so you went and got a new battery though.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of hoops to jump through. I was going to go buy some pizza rolls because I was alone for Christmas. I was alone for Christmas Eve.
You weren't alone. You had your friends Frodo and Sam.
I did, and they were great friends through the whole thing.
Yes, and eventually your buddy, your old pal Dale Cooper, as well.
Yeah, which, by the way, you can only watch so much
Twin Peaks
before you start to feel like, I think I might be losing my shit.
I think I might be crazy.
But yeah.
You can only absorb so much of that weirdness before some of it starts to get internalized.
Right. Yeah. So I found a guy. There's one dude here in Minot who works on German cars.
It's just the one guy.
One guy. He'll do your BMW, your Audi, your Volkswagen.
Porsches?
Maybe.
Probably. They're owned by Volkswagen.
Right. Yeah. At least they were founded by Volkswagen.
They weren't founded by Volkswagen.
Weren't they?
They are currently owned by them though.
Are they?
I don't think, at least at one point they were at the very least independent of Volkswagen because it was fairly recently that Porsche got bought by them.
Right. Okay. What I'm thinking of is that Porsche, the dude, worked for Volkswagen.
Yes, I'm sure that was the case.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
When I got a couple years ago, when I got a new battery, when it was my turn,
I remember that
to have you jump me 5 times in a week or whatever.
His car,
my car. When I just went to AutoZone. And there was a kid there, and I say kid because I'm sure he was like 17.
Hey, can I help you, mister?
It wasn't quite, he wasn't that, but he was, this young, skinny ginger kid or whatever, but obviously knows far more about cars than I ever will. And I was just like, I need a new battery. And it's like, what's your model of car? I was like, all right, I got this one. It's like, okay, well, we got these. This one, you're going to be back here in a year. These other ones, they're all right. Yeah. And it's like, what's the best what's the best one you can get me?
Right.
I want that one, please.
I got an Interstate. I have an Interstate battery in mine.
Mine is a Duralast, I think.
Duralast?
Yeah.
Built to last. Duralast. Yeah.
I will. It's the Patton Oswalt joke of just like so much relevant information that I need for my life is pushed out of my brain by remembering random jingles for shit.
Yeah, and it was only it took a while before I realized that Duralast was not a condom.
It definitely sounds like the name of a condom for sure. Mm-hmm.
Beer. Delicious.
But
Lagunitas.
yeah, it's Lagunitas Stereo Hopic.
Right.
And it looked kind of trippy, so I thought that was appropriate for a Blood Incantation discussion, because Blood Incantation's a trippy band.
It is trippy.
So we'll talk about the band.
Uh-huh.
How about that? How about that?
Starspawn, which this wasn't on streaming. I couldn't find this on streaming.
I got it on
You got it?
Spotify.
See, I don't have Spotify.
You got Amazon.
Yeah, I got.
I guess I technically also have Amazon because I have Amazon Prime. So.
Well, I have Amazon Prime, but Amazon Music doesn't come with Amazon Prime.
It doesn't.
You have to pay an extra $10 a month for that shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Blood Incantation is an American death metal band from Denver, Colorado.
Where they know their death metal.
That's true. I actually don't know. Are there a lot of death metal bands from Denver?
No, not that I know of. No.
Okay.
In fact, I was trying to find a band when I lived near Denver, and I found this really bad pop space rock band, and I got an audition for him. He says, "You don't feel like you have to play guitar all the time in every song, do you?"
I'm a guitarist, so sure.
Call me if you need me, I guess. He never.
You don't feel like you have to play guitar all the time in every song,
right? No, I
don't get it.
I hear you.
I mean, I do understand that there will definitely be songs for some genres that where, you don't necessarily need guitar for every song.
Right, there's a synthesizer in there.
A synthesizer.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're from Denver, Colorado. And they've been around since 2011.
Sure.
Making trippy, weird death metal. Their first official release, I guess they have their demos, obviously. They've got a couple demos that came out 2013.
Sure.
One in 2014. But then there's Interdimensional Extinction, which was their debut EP. And then Starspawn was their debut album.
Sure.
In 2016.
Even though you might almost call this an EP as well, although...
Yeah.
Because it's 5 songs.
I don't know how long... I can't remember how long Hidden History of the Human Race was, but it's not... Yeah, Hidden History of the Human Race is only 36 minutes, too.
Wow.
They keep it fairly short with their albums, generally speaking. And the way that they seem to do it, because I think Hidden History, which we listened to a couple years ago, was very much the same, where they usually have like one really long song and then the rest are more normal length for death metal songs. Like on here, they have one
Vitrification of Blood. Yeah.
They have one 13-minute song and then the rest of them are 5 to 7 minutes.
Right. And they have a part 1 and part 2 in here that are not next to each other.
They are not next to each other because, yeah, man, whoa. Every Blood Incantation piece of music that I have listened to has, like, most of the time, it's just gritty, awesome, really well written songs, and then every once in a while they hit a section where you go, whoa, and you feel like you're like floating through space.
Right.
You feel like you're on the cover of The Sciences by Sleep. That astronaut that's in space and the inside of his helmet is filled with weed smoke.
Sure.
It's like that. You feel like you're Brent Hines in the making of Emperor of Sand documentary.
Dirty Behinds here.
Dirty Behinds broadcasting from the moon.
Our album, the one album we recorded, did have that song. We had just sort of
whoa song.
Yeah, it was called Way Away, and it was 7.5 minutes long. And
7.5 minutes. You got to bump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
we were rookies at the time.
Those you gotta go longer, man. That's not impressive anymore.
It's 27 years ago.
It's true, but
holy shit, it was 27 years.
It's 27 years. You're old.
I
start calling you Old Jay. Whatever, Old Jay.
I've started to sound curmudgeonly. You probably haven't heard me on the radio lately, but I'm starting to throw shit in like this, and it just sounds like I'm
an old man.
Yeah, because I read a story the prep was yesterday, I think, or was it today? I don't remember when it was, but talking about how a passport's going to be more expensive if you saw that piece or not.
I don't think so.
I said, Passport's going to be more expensive. Cost you $20 more to, especially if you're going to get a new one, it's going to cost you $130 plus the $35 application fee. And I said, they won't let me into any countries now, so my passport's pretty blank. Coming back with the weather.
Yeah. They won't let me into their country no more. That's all right, because I love the good old US of A.
I was going to sit here and shout at that cloud.
Old man yells at cloud. But, I mean, I already sound a little bit like that sometimes. Whenever I'm, really reaching for content and it's just like, all right, what stupid fucking thing is going on TikTok right now? All right, whatever, I'll read about that. And I always preface it with look, I'm fairly young. I don't get this. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like every time I read one of those stories, it's like I feel so disconnected from that entire scene and
the Gen Z,
that generation, where it's like, depending upon what survey you look at, I'm supposedly a part of that generation. I don't feel like it.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I don't get it.
And I feel like we should probably avoid stuff like that anyway, because our target demo is older than me.
Well, but if you're going at it from the angle of isn't this silly and stupid and dumb?
I can't believe they're doing this now.
Yeah.
What is that?
If you're going at it from if I was trying to be like the hip young DJ, then yeah, it wouldn't make sense. But I think if you're going at it from the sense of I don't get this, I'm going to tell you about some weird stuff, and we can both together, me and the listener, go, what are these kids doing
Why
together?
Are these assholes eating laundry detergent?
The Tide Pods look like, I told them the Tide Pods looked like little candies. They didn't fucking believe me. I love College Humor's CEO series.
Right, and it's Brendan.
It's Brendan Lee Mulligan.
Brendan Lee Mulligan
as the CEO of various different companies, trying desperately to deal with different weird controversies that have come up. The first video that they made was after the whole Tide Pods thing.
I told them they look like fucking candies.
They made a sequel to the Tide Pods thing, which was. The first one was Tide Pods aren't candy. And the second one was message from Tide CEO. Tide is not medicine. I didn't think I was going to have to be back here, but. And it's always followed with the, other people in the company having willingly played into whatever stupid thing is going on. They're funny. I like those videos.
I think everything he does is hilarious, pretty much.
Brendan Lee Mulligan is one of the funniest people alive.
Yeah.
I think he's extremely, extremely funny.
I can't tell if you're extremely funny or the biggest fucking sadist I've ever met.
So, Blood Incantation.
Blood Incantation.
The band with one of the more incomprehensible logos that you can find out there.
Yeah, it's their logo. It's that chair that sat outside too long.
Yeah,
logo.
it's the faux leather chair.
Yeah,
where the piece where your head sits is coming apart and cracked.
That's what their logo is.
Or like a big pile of sticks that you found in the woods.
Right.
Usually that's for black metal bands,
right.
But a lot of death metal bands have kind of gross looking logos, but you can usually tell what band it is.
Yeah.
Blood Incantation, not so. You can, although it is a specific skill of obviously you can't read it, but you do recognize that specific mass of squiggles.
Sure.
That's the challenge. That's the literacy. That's the language of death metal logos and black metal logos. It's just I can't read this, but I do know what band this is.
It's a brand.
Yeah, it's a brand.
Right.
It's a brand. It's a fucking brand.
It's a fucking brand. If you saw this, burned to the ass of a horse, you'd know that horse belonged to Blood Incantation.
Yeah,
right.
It would be weird. That'd be a weird investment for a death metal band. Just we own a couple horses.
I don't know.
We're gonna sell them at market. We own a stud horse. We're selling his cum. He's a prized racehorse, and we're selling his jizz so that more prized racehorses can be born.
You know, when I lived in the Denver area, I actually lived close to Colorado Springs, but
I'll call it it's the Denver metro area,
right,
for sure.
the DMA. I had I had horses. I mean, my family did.
Would it be? Is there the? Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm trying to come up with a joke.
Uh-oh.
Is it the mega Denver metropolitan area?
The MDMA?
Yeah.
Drugs. So,
speaking of drugs, horses.
Horses, yeah. So, and these were horses that people who had ranch are like, how long have we had this horse? We've had this horse for 30 years. Jesus Christ, we need to get rid of this fucking horse because
Send it to the glue factory.
Yeah, send it to the glue factory. Oh, the Bennetts want to buy it. Okay.
Your family would just buy
you go. Old horses.
fucking horses.
Yeah, they would buy old horses and then they would ride them around the neighborhood, not very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
old horses.
Slow riding run, and then like every few months they'd have to call the Purina van. And then
they'd have to call the IKEA people.
Yeah.
We've got some meat for you to use in your meatballs.
Here you go. Do you need to pay us for it? Nay.
Classic.
You can just haul it off. Yeah.
Classic horse joke.
Absolutely. You know, and I was watching those movies over the weekend, and I
was like, what movies? But obviously, the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah, it's James Bond. No,
Yes.
Lord of the Rings. Yeah, and the whole time I'm watching, like the last half of the Two Towers and the Return of the King. As I'm thinking to myself, what if he was the Lord of Horse Porn, and they called him Shadow Fucks? Because I was alone and I had no one to talk to. So I said things like that out loud to nobody.
Oh, no. Oh, God. That's
Yeah.
that's got to be a fan fiction.
There has to be.
Written.
Yeah, if you can say it out loud. What is it, Rule 34?
It's Rule 34. If you can think of it, if it exists, there's porn.
Right.
So anyway, blood incantation.
Yeah.
I'm in a weird state right now because my tummy's very, very full.
The tummy's very full.
I had dinner and then I ate some cookies and now I'm drinking beer. And so
and it's not a light beer.
I got a full tummy and it's I'm having trouble staying focused.
See, all my Christmas stuff, I went to the grocery store and bought bachelor chow for me because I knew I was going to be home alone for like 4 days. So I bought just hot dogs, canned chili.
Did you get up and look in the mirror and slap your face with some aftershave? Because you were home alone.
Oh, yeah. And then I went, ah! Yeah. And then for some reason, I had to fuck with Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci all weekend. It was great. They hit him with paint cans and set him on fire.
Somebody tried to rob your house.
It did, yeah. Take that, you filthy animal.
There you go. Made the joke.
There it goes. Now we're past it. Thankfully.
It was worth derailing what you were saying.
But yeah, it was.
This one's going in the trash.
Is it really?
Not literally, but
this whole episode.
As you know, I don't begrudge somebody turning this one off.
Yeah. This is dumb. This is just dumb. One dumb thing after another.
Basically.
Hey, maybe they're going to talk about that band I like, Blood Incantation. Did they? No, they fucking didn't.
They didn't.
They hardly did. These guys.
Because Kale ate too many cookies before they started.
These guys are worse than the Boogie Monster.
At the very least, Kyle and Dave are actually funny.
Yeah. We amuse each other. I don't know why anybody's listening to us.
Yeah. We're only funny to each other, basically. So what was your favorite song on this? I didn't look up score.
I had to watch this on YouTube, like I said, because I didn't watch it. I had to listen to it on YouTube.
So it was harder to tell what was what.
It was harder to tell. Yeah, it was harder to tell what was what. I really liked the title track, which is the fifth and final thing. You know, and I enjoyed the epicness of vivification of blood. Vitrification, not vivification.
Yes.
That would be something entirely different. Vitrification of blood. I enjoyed that, the 13-minute song.
I wrote down Hidden Species, which is Vitrification of Blood
Part 2. Yeah.
Because that one has one of the big spacey sections in it.
Yes, it does.
That I enjoy. If you close your eyes while you're listening to it, even when you're sober, you can kind of go like, whoa.
The bed spins.
Just sort of, melt into your bed if you're laying down while listening to it.
You know,
I can very much imagine myself if I had, if it was, if I was a teenager in the 70s. And I had a record player next to my bed and I had headphones plugged into the record player and I was just sitting there smoking a joint, just going, whoa.
The weed was nowhere near as good.
Yeah. Well, you just smoke more of it.
Yeah, you smoke a lot more of the weed. The weed they make now, I got high walking into your apartment building.
Yeah, the neighbors were
so
enjoying themselves.
Which, that's fine. I don't care.
I don't smell it anymore.
No?
Maybe my nose has gotten used to it.
Maybe. You're just accustomed. You know,
I don't know how I ever smell it ever because this, like, half of the time.
Right.
That's what this building smells
Fabric
like.
softener, sometimes Chinese food, and marijuana.
Yeah, but you know what? Hey, that's apartment life.
You know, I did
deal with it.
I did notice that in this album, at least on this one, I don't remember them on the last one we reviewed doing this. They seem to borrow a little bit now and then from both Trey Zagthoth and Kerry King.
What band is Trey Zagthoth from?
Morbid Angel.
That's specifically listed as in some publications as like one of their big
really
one of their big influences.
Yeah, because I can hear that in there.
Lots of Morbid Angel influence, and the guitar solos especially. There's some Kerry King flavor in there.
Yeah.
A bit more melodic and a little bit more structured than a Kerry King.
Yes,
guitar
most
solo.
of the time.
It's somewhere between a Death guitar solo and a Kerry King. And certainly like a lot of their riffs and whatnot borrow more from the Death school of sort of progressive death metal. A bit slower. They have one song on here that's instrumental that is basically an Opeth song.
It basically is, yeah.
Or at least the first half of an Opeth song before, because it's one track and the entirety of the track.
Track 4
is just clean and or acoustic guitar or both at the same time.
But it's all very dark somehow still.
It's a lot moodier than in a different I mean the whole album's pretty moody, but it's in a different sort of way, in a more folkish kind of way. Versus the rest of it, which is moody but like spacey and whoa. That's I don't know why I can't think of an adjective, so I just go whoa.
I think we can go the past 3 and so on years of this podcast. I think you've said that particular Keanu Reeves line more tonight than in any other one.
I mean, it's really the only thing that occurs to me to say.
Sure.
I don't know why, but it's I cannot come up with the word, but I feel like saying that people understand what I mean.
Whoa.
They know what the feeling I'm trying to evoke is.
Did you hear Blood Incantation knows Kung Fu?
Whoa.
Yeah.
It'd be different if the music that makes you go, wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Blood Incantation has a new album. Wow. That'd be weird to find out that Owen Wilson is like a fan of extreme metal.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess it wouldn't be that
he's
weird.
Not that much older than me.
It's true, but it just, you don't picture Owen Wilson as that sort of person, you know?
Yeah. Maybe Luke.
Maybe Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's got the black hair, so it's he's a darker personality.
Exactly.
Just needs to grow it out, you know.
Yeah, and maybe
do some headbanging.
Maybe paint his fingernails.
There we go. We're turning. I mean, not that metalheads don't paint their fingernails,
sure.
But I went from imagining him as like a Peter Steele, to imagining him as like more of a My Chemical Romance type.
Hey, where's the funeral? Yeah.
Luke, they're making a biopic about typo negative.
Yeah.
And Luke Wilson is playing Peter Steele. It's
a strange choice.
Just Luke Wilson
The
the
voice
entire
would be
time.
wrong entirely.
It'd be Luke Wilson would be trying to do a Peter Steele impression.
like this.
Hey there. I'm Peter Steele.
I'm Peter Steele.
Hi.
I don't know what Peter Steele's speaking voice sounded like. I just assume it was pretty deep like that.
It is very deep, and he has a thick East Coast accent.
Anyway.
He was a New York park ranger.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine running into Peter Steele.
Yeah, you're out there and I'm going to put out my cigarette in this. Can't put your cigarette out right there.
So
You're gonna start a fire.
like
you in.
upstate New York or like New York City parks.
I don't. It's like a park ranger kind of situation. Like like outside of the city.
Okay.
Somewhere
Like a state park or something like that. Okay.
You can't build a fire here. I'm sorry. No fires in this part of the. You have to go over to a different campsite.
Here, take this blood and put it out.
Sorry, this is only you can't park here. Only primitive campsites here.
Here, take this blood. Why does he have all these bags of blood?
I always have a lot of blood on me at all times.
I don't know. I have no idea what.
I mean, he's starting to sound a little more like from Saw, like
From Jigsaw.
Yeah, Jigsaw, yeah.
Peter Steele walking up to you, just.
You won't want to play a game.
Yeah,
But given the nature of so many typo negative songs, that
it wouldn't be at a place.
game, but I feel like the game will probably be more sexual. Than a typical Saw movie.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more sexual. It's a band where one of the lyrics is "I would do anything to make you come." Typo negative. So anyway.
Can you imagine if he was Jigsaw in those movies?
Peter Steele was Jigsaw.
There's people in the traps, you have to figure your way out of this one. It's, oh man, I don't know. Why is there a strap around my dick? That really doesn't play into this at all, does it?
Oh, trust me, it does.
A lot of character work tonight.
All right.
So, what's your favorite song? You said it was like it was the first, the title track,
the title track, the the first song, which
or the first song. Yeah. Let's just get this over with. What medal are you bestowing upon this?
I give this one a bronze because it's kind of niche. It's
a bronze,
not a bronze. Sorry, silver. It's definitely a silver. I give this a dozen place. No, I give this a silver. It's definitely a silver. I don't know why I confuse bronze and silver.
We've been doing this how long? You forgot our rating system.
Going on 4 years. It's I give it a silver. At least a silver.
I'm giving this a gold. I quite like this. I find it very re-listenable, partially because it's not very long.
Right. Yeah. It's only 5 songs.
And also just because it is not, it's I don't know. It's just easy for me to re-listen to. I listened to it 3 times today.
I listened to it twice over a period of 3 days.
I didn't get sick of it at all. It was just like every song I was excited to hear more of it again because there's a fair bit going on. There's complex songwriting, and enough sort of weird dynamic elements,
the D word,
to keep you interested in it. Nothing. It doesn't get old. Things don't outstay their welcome. They know right when to shake things up.
Sure.
This is a gold for me. I really enjoy this.
Right.
There's a lot of death metal bands out there that I'm great listen. I'll listen to this once and have a fantastic time, but it doesn't
never revisit.
It doesn't stick in my head as something that I want to re-listen to.
Sure.
But Blood Incantation stuff is one of the few death metal bands that I go back and listen to relatively regularly.
Sure.
The top of that list is Cattle Decapitation, but yes, they're my favorite death metal band. But it's like I haven't found that there's a ton of death metal bands that grab me in that way. But Blood Incantation is one of them. And I enjoy it. So next week it'll be January.
Black Metal January.
That means we're
delving into the dark and cold depths of a black metal January.
I'm trying to remember which bands we've done already.
I don't know.
But I'm trying to remember. Did we do? Did we look at the brilliance of the drummer and lyricist and just generally all around good guy? Fenris, have we done any Dark Throne? Do we?
We have not done any Dark Throne.
Okay.
So what Dark Throne do you want to do?
What is the name of the album? Something in Northern Sky. Great song.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The only album that I can think of off the top of my head is Transylvanian Hunger, but that's like their first album, and it's extremely, extremely, extremely low, which is not really my taste in black metal.
Oh, Blaze in the Northern Sky. That's the name of the album. I couldn't remember it, but yeah, it was great. I listened to that in my car over the summer.
All right,
and I was like,
Blaze in the Northern Sky by Dark Throne.
By Dark Throne. Me and my teenager, we listened to it together.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, all right. Blaze in the Northern Sky by Dark Throne.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, there was a bit of sarcasm there because Fenris comes off as a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
But at the very least,
bad. I mean,
he's not an awful human. He doesn't seem like an awful human being.
No.
The way that many other people of his generation of Norwegian black metal artists are.
Right.
Or were.
Mm-hmm.
And I say were not because they reformed, but because they died.
Because they died, or because, or maybe they committed murder or some sort of terrible arson, and then now have become a good person. Like, you know, I know I murdered a dude in a park, but you know I have a charity now.
Yeah. Does Faust have a charity now?
No, I don't know. I have no idea.
I was gonna say because that was, I mean, Faust definitely murdered a guy in a park.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he has a charity now.
How do you think? Maybe he's close to 50.
Who knows?
It might be 50.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Dark Throne next week. Mm-hmm. Till then, find our social media pages: Facebook, Twitter. We're Bronze Metalist. Just look that up. It's fine. It's the same name as however you're listening to us now. Look at that name. Type it in. There you go. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Now, I never really thought about it before. Oh, we're telling you where to find us. Well, clearly you know where to find us
somewhere. Well, you know, we're telling you the other places.
Oh, sure.
That you could find us at.
Mm-hmm. And
other
it's
than
Metalist.
The one you used.
Right.
So we're on Libsyn, the podcast source in your Google Play or App Store. And we're also on the Apple Podcast app. Mm-hmm. Whichever one you please, do that. Thanks very much for, I don't know how you did it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you stuck through all of that.
Who's the real medalist? You. You're the real medalist here.
You're the real winner. So I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
For you, congratulations. You shouldn't be proud.